Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Just Ask JT. This is the live podcast I do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, you can watch the recordings over on YouTube. I'm live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok. And so happy to have you here. Today, we're talking about how AI is hurting your job search. This is a really important topic. I think a lot of you don't understand how AI is being implemented, not only on the job seeker side, but also over on the employer side, and what a mess it's creating. And for many of you who are actively looking for work right now, you might be scratching your head and saying, gee, it's never been this hard to find a job. I used to just apply online and I'd get a bunch of interviews and boom, I'm done. And now nothing, crickets, what's going on? AI. AI is a big part of the problem right now. And so I want to break that down and help you better understand. Okay. So, first of all, in the last year, a lot of companies have been implementing AI tools that are enabling them to screen candidates. So, on that ATS, that applicant tracking system side, the AI can use knockout questions to automatically screen you out so that they don't have to look at every single application physically. Now, not every company is utilizing that, but like anything, as these AI tools come out, they're very affordable. And so more and more companies are starting to adopt them and utilize them. And so you're not going to know what the knockout question is. You're not going to know how to game that AI system because that's all happening on their back end, on their secret end. But where AI is really messing things up actually has more to do on the job seeker side than just on the recruiter side. Okay, so yeah, there is some AI tools they're utilizing to screen candidates. You're going to see a lot more AI tools on their side. But where AI is really donging things up, really messing things up, is on the candidate side. And let me explain. See, a whole bunch of people have built these AI tools that are super cheap that create your resume for you, that match your resume to a job description. Maybe you've even used these, right? And they're like, look, it's so easy. You give us the job description link, we create your resume, we make it match, right? Also, applying. There's a ton of these new AI tools that automatically apply you to a whole bunch of jobs, like in your sleep. They claim they're going to apply in your sleep. Do you know how badly this has messed things up? Badly. So what's now happened is that historically a company might post a job and get 50 applicants or 100 applicants over the course of a few days or a week. Now they're getting 1,000 applicants in an hour or 1,000 applicants in a couple of days. I had one client, 3,000 applicants in 24 hours. And so they have to shut the job post down because that's physically too much. Now, why is that happening? Well, one, a whole bunch of people that weren't even qualified for the job used an AI tool to auto stuff that inbox of that employer. And secondly, even though they're using the AI tool with the knockout questions, these AI tools that create an automatic match, like revamp your resume to get you through. So now what's happening is the companies are like, wait a minute, we got 1,000 applicants and after a few hours, and the AI tool is saying that 500 of them are an exact match for the job. Folks, that doesn't add up. The math is not mathing there. And so what they're finding out is that people have gamed the system. Now, you need to be careful. I talked about it on the podcast earlier this week. Companies are catching people who have utilized these tools and banning them from ever working there. That's how mad they are, right? Because you've stuffed their system, you've messed up their system. They don't want to hire you. So please, if you don't believe me, go watch my podcast from earlier this week. You do not use AI to write your resume. You can use AI to proof your resume, but you do not use AI to write your resume because one, people are getting caught. Two, it lies, it makes stuff up about you and you get in trouble. And three, you don't remember what was written because you didn't write it. And then even if you get an interview, you're going to get caught in the lies. It's just a bad situation all around. And it's what's fueling all these problems. So now think about this. AI is messing things up so badly. Do you know what companies are doing? They're not posting their jobs anymore. Literally. There are open jobs right now. They're not posting them. What company wants to post a job and get 1,000+ resumes, the majority of which are spam junk that just creates a bunch of work that leads to no return to that recruiter? So this is the hot topic in recruiting right now, is not posting jobs anymore. What they're doing instead is actively searching for these candidates on sites like LinkedIn and then reaching out to them and saying, hey, we have a job opportunity. Would you be interested? So now you've spent all your time utilizing these AI tools to build your resume and to like auto apply to stuff, and you're not getting any results. Meanwhile, if you had invested your time in optimizing your LinkedIn profile and learning how to post in LinkedIn so that the algorithm recognizes you, there's 1.1 billion people on LinkedIn. If you want to be found by a recruiter, you actually need to understand how the algorithm works and do the right things to be found by recruiters. But this is how you get found. So it's a hot mess this year. AI has created such a hot mess in recruiting and hiring. I can't even tell you. And all the companies, I was at LinkedIn's Talent Connect. It's their largest event for talent professionals, global talent professionals who plan all this. You know, the biggest companies in the world come together. There were 1,800 executives there. And the conversation was all around AI. All they were talking about is like what a mess it's been and what tools are they going to be able to utilize in 2025 and beyond to deal with this. Now, I'm going to tell you where it's going. As a veteran of this and who's already seen where it's going, in 2025, the word will be authentication. Not authenticity, authentication, meaning companies are going to implement tools to authenticate and validate you are a real person and the stuff you're claiming you can do, you can actually do. So, for example, you're going to see a big rise in not even getting an interview until you take a bunch of assessments. Like, can't even get a shot at an interview until you complete these assessments. Why do they do that? Because a bot can't do that. If you're not really interested in the job, you're not going to bother. So it's going to reduce the amount of qualified candidates that apply, which is what they want. They don't want 10,000 applicants, right? They want the right 10, 20, 30 people to apply. And so you're going to see a big increase in being asked to take personality assessment tests, skill-based assessment test. It's called evidence-based hiring or skills-based hiring, okay? Big tool they're going to use for authentication. Next big thing you're going to see is the rise of video. Video, video, video. Whether you like it or not, in the future, your jobs will be gotten by video. Video will be your first interview. Some of you have probably already experienced it. It's called asynchronous video. It's where they send you a link and say, look, this is going to pop up. You're going to answer 5 questions on camera so we know you are who you say you are. And then it's going to come back to us and we're going to decide if we want to physically interview you. That will be the new first interview. So you will have no choice. Now, a lot of people hate that, and I do too, because where is that video going? That's your property. That's you. I'm not a fan of that. So what you will see are tools like McCoy, which I've been talking about for over a year now, and who I believe in so much. I actually joined and became an advisor to this company because I saw the power of this, which is simply you create the video, you own the video, you decide who the video goes to, but it creates the same effect. It gives you a way to send a hiring manager videos of you answering some of those questions. So they're like, oh yeah, this person is authentic. They're real, like they really are who they say they are. They know their stuff. Let's bring them in for a real interview. And so you're going to see a big rise in this type of video like McCoy. It's a mobile app, by the way. You can go to the iPhone store, download it for free, and it allows you to build these videos and then send them privately, right? So you don't have to become a social media influencer. You don't have to be some sort of public rock star, but you are able to then leverage video as a way to authenticate yourself and stand out against a sea of candidates who nobody trusts anymore. They just don't trust them. It's too easy for you to lie and create fake profiles, and that's what companies are up against. So understand this is what's happening. AI is massively disrupting the hiring process. It's totally messing with things. It's making hiring take longer. It's making it harder for you to get an interview. And you have to be very mindful of the fact that you could be contributing to the problem if you're using some of these AI tools that are making you inauthentic. So if you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, you know what to do. I will be on top of these trends. I'll be reporting on them on this podcast on a regular basis. I've already told you where it's headed. Authentication will be the name of the game in 2025. Proving you are who you say you are. It will be skills and evidence-based hiring. But we're going to see more and more technology around that you will need to be aware of and utilize to your advantage. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah, it's really interesting times for sure. Very, very challenging. Okay, Well, what I'm going to do now, like I always do, is take some questions. So if you have questions, feel free to pop them up. Shout out to TikTok. If you've got questions, pop them there. To my LinkedIn and YouTube followers, go ahead and post them there. And I will help you. I'll do what I can to answer as many questions as I can. Does that sound good? Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Very good. Um, so let's take a look. I always usually get some pretty interesting questions over here on TikTok. Let's see what we got going on over here. Hold on. It's always so hard to get there we go. What do you say, what do you do and say in interviews if you are underqualified or don't know the answer, to be specific? Yeah. So here's the thing, folks. You can't lie in an interview. If you don't know something, you don't know something. So the go-to answer is, that's a great question. I don't have an answer for you on that. I can walk you through how I'd hypothetically do it, or I can just tell you that if you were to hire me, it would be a top priority to figure that out. What are your thoughts? You can't fake it, and trying to like song and dance around it isn't going to help you at all. Right. So don't belabor it. Just be honest and say, I can try to answer it the way I would understand it. Or, I think ideally that's one of the things that I'd be excited to learn when working at your company. Yeah. What if applicants don't have a huge social media following and can back channel those who to those who know them? I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. Can you rephrase that question? So if your applicants don't have a huge social media following, it doesn't matter. You don't need a huge social media following right now. What you need is proper presence. It's not a big social media following, it's a proper brand. So everyone here is a brand. You are all a business of one marketing your services. Your brand needs to be able to articulate its value. You do that on a tool like LinkedIn, not only with your LinkedIn profile, but what's become more important is your LinkedIn feed, where you're proving that you know what you're talking about. That's where it's becoming really, really important. Yeah, very, very good. Let's see. Are companies preferring Gen Z more over the experienced professionals, as they may have been more inclined towards new tools, etc.? Oh, that's a really interesting question. Do companies prefer Gen Z right now over the older generations? The answer is no. Gen Z can be great for certain things, right? If they are proficient in certain technologies, they have a fresh set of eyes, they need to learn, so they might be less expensive. But there are plenty of other jobs where companies require somebody with more experience, with professional experience, to understand things. So we should never make generalizations that one generation is getting more jobs than another right now. It's not the case at all. What you have to look at is your situation. What skill level are you at? What value do you create for employers? And what types of jobs are you capable of doing where you would maximize what's called the ROI, the return on investment, meaning you would know how to save or make them more than enough money to justify the cost of hiring you. That is your value proposition, or what we call the UVA. And if you don't understand your unique value add and you don't know how to market that, that is where you will really suffer in this market. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, just needed to block somebody who was being pretty obnoxious. Sorry about that, folks. I'll stop using AI when they stop. That's really funny. So no one's going to stop using AI. AI is going to continue to be utilized by both job seekers and recruiters. But the quality of the AI tools that both sides will use will improve. Right now, there's a lot of really crummy tools that people are using that's just messing the system up. But like anything, as we get more familiar with AI, as AI gets more sophisticated, as it gets better and better and better, the tools available to both recruiting and to job seekers will improve, and that will make everything better. Yeah. So you don't need to stop using AI, but the AI tools that are really bad, you should stop using, because they're not helping you in any way. Yeah. I also cannot stress it enough, folks. There are tools being built right now that can tell a recruiter, if you used AI to generate your resume, you will be tossed. You won't even be considered. Yeah. So that's the kind of thing that I mean about authentication. They need to know you are who you say you are. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. How do recent college graduates find their way in? Is LinkedIn still important? Where do they look? Ooh, I love that question. If you're a recent college grad right now, you need one very important thing, and it's called a bucket list. So the bucket list is 20 companies that you would really like to work for that you know hire for your skill set. And if you don't understand how to build that, then you need a little coaching on that. And obviously, that's what we do over at my company, Work It Daily. You probably would benefit from a 7-day free trial so we could show you how to build your interview bucket list. But as a new grad, your interview bucket list is going to help you target on LinkedIn, because yes, LinkedIn becomes a really important tool for all you new grads out there as a way to reach out. Now, here's the cool thing. Recent grads have this like wonderful thing to leverage, which is you're a newbie. People love to help the newbie. So when you have a targeted list of companies you'd like to work for, you can start to back channel your way in to people anywhere in the company. It doesn't even need to be in the department that you're interested in. Anybody in the company where you can find a point of commonality. Maybe you went to the same college together, same college, not the same time, but or you studied the same thing, or you have the same degree, or whatever it is. And you can start to message these people and say, I'm a brand new college grad. What's your number one tip to landing a job? Everybody loves to coach new grads. So you should be leveraging that right now on this targeted list, because what happens is you message them and they say, sure, this is what you should do. And you message back, that's amazing. Do you know if your company's hiring recent grads? I'm a huge fan of your company. Here's why. So what you lack in experience as a new grad, you need to make up for in very specific and clear, like passion and enthusiasm for the company. We're not going to hire you if you have no passion or enthusiasm. You have no skills. We know you have no skills. The whole idea is to give you an entry-level job so you can get the skills. So if you don't have the skills, what do you bring to the table? Enthusiasm and understanding and appreciation for the company and what it does. That says that you're self-motivated, that you're going to get yourself up out of bed every day and really want to learn and grow and succeed in this job. And that's what we need from you. So recap, my college grads, bucket list, primary, back channeling in and asking for their number one tip on how to land a job, and then leveraging your excitement, your enthusiasm for the company as a way to say, hey, this is what I have to offer. Okay. That is how college grads get a job. And I'm going to give you a cool story about that just to motivate you. I had a young man come to me. He really wanted to get into recruiting. He was a senior in college. He's like, I really want to get into recruiting. I have no recruiting experience, but this is what I want to do. And we were like, okay, why? And he told the story about why he wanted to get in recruiting, how he had gotten recruited for a temporary job as a summer internship. And he just loved that this person's job was to make a match. And he just was like, this is what I want to do. I'm like, awesome. Okay, who do you want to do this for? So he puts together this bucket list of companies he'd want to recruit for. And he starts contacting them like I instructed on LinkedIn. And he gets this one woman at this company who loves his story and interviews him, and they hire him for a job that was posted that required 5 years of experience. They literally picked him over people with experience. And they told him it was because he was so enthusiastic. He had no bad habits, but he so clearly knew that he wanted to get into the industry, and they were rooting for him. Right? That's how they feel like, oh, this grad wants to get into our industry. Let's bring them into the fold, right? This is your opportunity right now, recent grads. This is your chance to lever that. You won't have that forever. So that's why you want to leverage what you have right now. And, these techniques work extremely well for my college graduates. Yeah. Yeah, very, very good. Let's see. Is the market going to rebound next year, as 2024 has been tough for job search, and what impacts do we anticipate based on the new tariff? Yeah, it's a really great question. I don't expect to see the white collar job recession end until second quarter of 2025. I think we're going to continue to see, you're going to hear about a whole bunch of layoffs now, end of the year layoffs and restructurings. And then companies are going to focus on Q1 and Q2 with hiring new executive teams. So they're going to be like, look, we need new ideas. We need to move the business forward. Who's going to lead the initiative? So there will be a bit of an increase in executive hiring, and those are fewer positions, right? Now, once those executives are hired, they'll then be given the ability to hire their new teams. And that's when you'll start to see things open up. I also can tell you that historically, when the tech industry goes through big layoffs and we have layoffs like this, a lot of little companies are started. There's thousands and thousands of tiny little startups right now Not all of them will survive, but some will grow quickly in 2025. And that will create an opportunity to whole bunch of startups. So again, not going to see a big rebound in Q1 and Q2, but I think in the latter half of 2025, we'll start to see it pick up and there will be more opportunities for people out there. That being said, can you get a job right now? Yeah. You just have to look differently. Applying online is a waste of your time. You're not going to get picked when 10,000 people, a lot of which are fake AI generated applications, are stuffing their inbox. You have to work smarter in your job search right now in order to get hired. But they're out there. Those jobs are out there. You just got to work differently. Yeah. Let's see. I've been following your advice regarding branding myself on LinkedIn by posting on my feed. My question is, how often do you think we should be posting, and how many posts will trigger the algorithm to expose us for exposure? So it comes down to frequency and relevancy when you're posting on LinkedIn. At a minimum, you should be posting once a day, at a maximum 3 times a day. So 1 to 3 times a day on LinkedIn. And when I say posting, folks, I mean posting, not reposting, not liking. Okay, those aren't algorithmically helping you. It's you writing something up, or better yet, recording a video. It's you creating content and posting it in your feed as it relates to your industry and your skill set. So the reality is that LinkedIn's going to watch and see if you do this consistently. And while there's no, like, they don't give you the algorithm information, anecdotally, I can tell you, as I've been coaching people, most people are saying it's taking anywhere from 2 weeks to a month for the algorithm to like kick in and be like, okay, this person's legit. They're really posting original content on a regular basis. Now that will speed up if you post more. So, if you want to post once a day for the next month, that could, the algorithm may tick off for you. If you post 3 times a day, that could speed it up for you. So that's totally your call. But the key is to make sure it's quality content. It's related to your industry and your skill set. That's a really important piece of the puzzle. There is a second piece of this puzzle, though, on LinkedIn that's also important, which is you should be following the companies you want to work for, and when appropriate, commenting on the content they post. Because the algorithm is looking at it and going, oh, wow, this recruiter at this company is looking for somebody with this skill set. Hey, this person follows our company, comments on our stuff, and has content in their feed that's related to this. Let's put them to the top of the search results. So you want to you want to not only show up in the search results, you want to rank in the search results high enough that they'll take a look at you, right? Think of it like when you do a search on the internet, do you go through all 10,000 pages that they give you for results? No, you usually go through the first page tops, maybe the first 3, 4, 5, 6 things. Okay. That's the same thing in LinkedIn. It will say, here's 200 people that are a fit, but they're really only looking probably at those first 50. You want to be in those first 50 of the search results. So not only should you be posting every day, 1 to 3 times a day, speed it up, but you should be following companies and commenting where it makes sense, not gratuitously, but again, insightful commenting in order for the algorithm to see that as well. Yeah. And this is the future. And, this shouldn't surprise you, because if you research how to grow yourself on any social platform, that's what you do. It's not any different than any other social platform. LinkedIn is just adapting its algorithm to the way that every other search platform or every other social media platform is adapting. So shouldn't shock you that these are the techniques that are going to get you noticed faster. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. I spend so much ensuring my resume has at least an 80% ATS score. Is this too low? I also reach out to recruiters when possible. I've yet to receive a response. Dan, let me be super clear. I don't care if you get your ATS matched to 80% or 100%. You're not getting a call, my friend. Everybody is doing it. There's nothing you can do. Like, this idea of matching yourself to ATS is a joke. There are over 100 different ATS systems. No 2 companies use the same ATS system. What you're doing is literally a waste of your time. You are absolutely like, you're like the hamster on the treadmill going nowhere. You need to stop that insanity right now. And you need to stop, folks, anybody out there scamming you and telling you, pay for our services and we'll match your resume. This is what I mean. That's a scam. Don't do it. That's a really, really bad thing. Okay. What I like, Dan, is your idea of trying to reach the recruiter. But the problem with that is that's what everybody's doing now too. It used to be unique. It used to be that most people didn't even bother to try to reach the recruiter. So when the recruiter had somebody reach out to them, they respond. But now everyone's trying to go straight to the recruiter. You missed that window. What you need to be focusing on is finding people in the department. So if you see a job, first go over to the company's careers page, make sure the job is legit, because there's a ton of ghost and fake and scam jobs on all the job boards right now. So go to the company's actual corporate website and go to their careers page and make sure that job is real. Once you know that job is real, you can apply over there, but don't expect much because of the volume of applications. And now you go find people in the department, not the recruiter, people in the department. And you back channel and ask to connect with them and say, hey, could I get your advice? I really want to know how to stand out for the XYZ job. What tips could you offer me? What's your advice as somebody who works there? You're not asking them to get you a job. You're not asking them to introduce you to the recruiter or the hiring manager, because that's what other people do, and it's really annoying. In this market, you seek advice from the people in the department. If they look at your profile and they like what they see, they'll be like, oh, I like the way he approached this. Let me forward him to the hiring manager. And this is how people are getting interviews. Yeah. So make no mistake, it is a totally different hiring market right now, job search market. Vast majority of you are looking for work the wrong way. If your number one method for looking for a job right now is applying online, that is the equivalent to not looking for work. And that is why job search is taking 9+ months. I know you don't want to hear this. Don't shoot the messenger. I just gave you the facts as to why it is a complete and utter waste of your time and why you have to do something different to get hired. But the good news is it's not hard to learn. Learning the right techniques is really, really simple if you have the right coach. It's very, very quick and easy, and it's far more productive. It's just 8 out of 10 of you don't want to take the time to learn something new. You want the quick fix, right? You want the aspirin, you want the magic pill, you want the fairy godmother to come in and swoop the wand. And I don't say that to be harsh. I say that to wake you up. If you're really, really ready to get a new, better paying job, then you need to learn something new. It's not going to be hard and it's not going to take you a long time, but you are going to have to learn something new. Otherwise, you're going nowhere fast. And some point in time, you're going to get in enough pain, and this is going to get so uncomfortable that you're going to be forced to learn something new. I just don't know why you want to wait that long. And I say that because literally the data proves only 2 out of every 10 of you will hear what I said today and go learn something new. Only 2 out of 10. The other 8 will hear me today and go, yeah, and go back and do what they've been doing and then complain that they're not getting any results. So I'm on here literally giving you the answers. Literally, because I know that a couple of you will take this advice, run with it, and get results. And to me, that's all I'm trying to make happen. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of you that are literally being given this advice for free and won't do anything with it. I can't control that, right? I can't control that. But I can be here 3 times a week to try to help you, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing. Right. How do I brand myself when I want a corporate job, but I took a local job right out of college? Well, first of all, you took a job out of college, and I'm proud of you. Let me be clear. Getting a job, paying bills, making money, working right out of school, good on you. Okay. And corporate America is going to appreciate the fact that you went and got a job. Okay. As far as getting your foot in the door, you are going to have to use that technique that I talked about earlier today, which is your enthusiasm for the corporations you want to work for. They know you have no experience. They hire you thinking you have no bad habits and you're like clay. You're going to be moldable. You're going to be coachable. But they're only going to pick the new grads who have the enthusiasm to work for them, who can articulate very clearly why they want to work there. If you can't do that, you won't be considered. So your important step right now is to have a bucket list of companies you want to work for, corporations, but then get really clear on what's called your connection story. The connection story is the story that ties you to them. What's going to get you up out of bed every day to want to crush it for this company? They need to hear that. And you need to focus on articulating that. That's where you need to head, and you will get your corporate job, okay? Yeah. So learn the new techniques, apply them, and you will stand out and you will break into the corporate world. Yes. Yeah. I accepted a job. Let's see. I accepted a job offer. Should I continue to interview until I start the job? Yep. Folks, right now, I can't tell you how many people I've seen offers rescinded. Just because you got a job offer, it's not real until like you're a week into working there. Plain and simple. It's how it is. And so you need to know that I would keep interviewing and keep moving forward until you are literally starting in that job. In this market, it's that crazy. Yeah. Yeah. When reaching out to people in a department that you want to work for, should you only try to reach out to one person? No, you want to reach out to multiple people, because the odds are not all of them are going to be on LinkedIn or look at LinkedIn or connect on LinkedIn. So there is I would say on average, try to find 5 people in a department and message each one individually. That'll hopefully statistically increase the chances that 1 to 2 of them follow up with you. Yeah. So it is a volume, not only the quality, meaning reaching out to the people in the department to get noticed, but there is a volume level, and 5, I think, is a really good number to start. By the way, I'm going to share with you a little LinkedIn tip that most people don't know. And that is, the more people you are connected with at a company, the higher you rank in the search results for recruiters. Let me say that again. So the algorithm looks at how many connections you have at the employer. And the reason for that, and it's a good reason, which is a lot of jobs are gotten via referral. So if you know a lot of people at the company, then one could argue you're probably a good fit for the company because you're connected to a bunch of people. Maybe they all worked with you someplace before. So that is as good as a referral. So one of the techniques we're always teaching at LinkedIn is saying, for your bucket list companies, you want to try to get people to accept your connection requests. Because even if you never meet these people, the sheer volume of connections you have at a company will help you rank higher and be seen by the recruiters at that company. That's why you want to target the people in the department, even people not in the department, and try to get people to connect with you and ask for their advice on how to stand out, because that gets that conversation going, but it also helps gamify the algorithm so that you are seen as a better fit and that you rank higher as well. Yeah. Very, very good. Very, very good. Awesome. After 13 years, I closed my international aviation consulting company due to COVID. Okay. I decided to return to the working world. I get regular interviews all the way to the hiring manager, the executive VP level, but then continuously lose out to a younger person with less experience and skill set. Yeah. So, okay. If you are, let's see, so you're a very experienced individual and you're getting through all the rounds and you're getting up to that executive VP level, and then you're not moving forward. What's happening in that interview is that you are coming across as overqualified and that you're not going to enjoy the job, that you potentially are going to be a know-it-all, that you're, the moment a better job comes along, you're going to leave. Like, there's a lot of negative assumptions that come when somebody brands themselves as an interview as like really high level or overqualified. And so the challenge is that you had a lot of this experience, right? You owned your own company for 13 years in this example. And so what happens is when you get up to that higher level and you're talking to those people, you talk in a way that's like overly assertive. And so it lands kind of wrong. They're like, wow, this person's a lot. Like, clearly own their own business, knows what they're talking about. So they're going to come in and they're going to be a know-it-all, and they're going to, want to do it their way. And it's just not going to be a good fit. And they're going to be bored and they're going to be frustrated, and then they're going to eventually leave. We'd rather hire somebody more junior who has room to learn and grow, who's going to be more, in their mind, more grateful for the job and less of a flight risk. Not to be a pun intended, since you're in the aviation industry, but candidly, that's their concern, is that because you're so senior, you're a flight risk. And also, again, the dynamics, they already have a senior executive team. So why are they bringing in another senior person who's acting like a senior executive? Now, I know that's really hard to hear, and people get frustrated when I share that advice, but I've been doing this for a long time, folks. And I have people inside Work It Daily all the time who come in who are in their 50s and their 60s, and they're going into interviews and being told, you're overqualified. You wouldn't like it here. We went with somebody more junior. And when we switch how they approach the interview, we tone it down. We talk a lot more about what the company has to offer and less about this, I'm a jack or Jill of all trades. I can do this, I can do that. I've done this, I've done it all. Because what happens is when you get to that level, you start talking like, hey, I'm a BMW and you're getting me for the price of a Honda. Nobody buys that. So you've got to change the narrative. You've got to change the brand. I'm not saying dumb it down. I'm not saying hiding who you are. I'm saying the way that you converse with these people has to be completely different, where it's focused on what they have to offer, how excited you are about what they have to offer, what it's giving you, so that it feels more balanced. You have to remember that you look like a flight risk when you're super senior and they're thinking, gosh, the moment you can get a better job, you're going to ditch us. They're not going to invest in you. So you've got to give them a lot of reasons why you wouldn't be going anywhere, right? You've got to show them so many reasons why that if you got this job, you were staying put. Then they're like, okay, this is a great fit. This person has all this experience and they really need us. It's a good fit. But when you keep getting to that final round like that, it flat out tells me that you're coming across overqualified and a flight risk, and they're not going to spend money on that. So you got to change your approach in order to get the results that you want. Yeah. I love it. So would it be best to play down your resume? Okay, so here's my thing, folks. Most higher level individuals, and I'm just going to say people with like more than 15 years experience, do their resumes wrong. And it's because they think they need to put everything they've ever done on the resume. Okay, so first of all, that's your first mistake right there. Then secondly, they use outdated resume techniques, especially if they use a resume writer, which in my opinion is a total scam, because that resume writer wants you to feel good about yourself. So what do? They use all this fancy language and they hype you up and they put all these fancy fonts. And then you get this resume and you're like, look at me. I look so cool. I look so professional. And you don't understand that's exactly why you're getting tossed. Your resume at the higher level, at more experience, higher level, should be dry as toast. It should be so basic and very skimmable. And what that does is send the message, right? First of all, we get their eye focusing on the right thing because you're not overdoing it. But it also sends the message that this is just a snapshot of who you are. This isn't everything you've ever done. They know that. So they're like, we really need to talk to this person to learn more about them. When you do that over the top resume, like so many of you do, if they see one thing they don't need, you're tossed. That's the wrong approach. As we get more experienced, we actually pull the resume back. We simplify the resume. And when I work with executives in my program and we work on their resume together, I warn them, I'm like, the first time you do this, it's going to freak you out because you're going to think you look so basic. But when you start seeing how many people are calling you for more information, you're going to understand that that resume is marketing teaser copy. And teaser copy doesn't give everything away. So that is the mistake that so many people are making with their resume right now, especially if you're more experienced. You're overdoing it and you're getting yourself tossed. You got to simplify and make it marketing teaser copy. Yeah, really, really important. Thank you, Nicole. I know I'm very proud of our resume module. And I think I've told you 74% of recruiters surveyed prefer our resume. That's how powerful it is. And the fact that you can write your entire resume yourself in under 30 minutes in this format. And then our format, what's super cool about it is, you know how you tweak your resume for all the jobs you're looking at? You don't have to tweak the whole resume. The way we're designed, you just fix a couple things in the top fold and it's done. So we're all about efficiency, but also about readability. And this whole skimmable 6-second resume format that we built is like chef's kiss. Yeah, and super easy to do. In the interview, is it legal for employers to ask about kids and childcare? No, I mean, obviously there's rules against that, but I can't tell you how many people that own companies or they get put into management jobs where they interview people don't understand the rules. So the one thing I like to tell everybody is don't assume that everybody has some sort of nefarious, negative, evil, like out to get you thing when they ask you one of those questions. A lot of times it's somebody that's just completely ignorant to employment law and is genuinely just trying to be nice. I mean, honestly, it is way more that. You will have some people that are like, hey, do you have childcare? Do you have the ability? Because they've been burned. If they're asking you that question, then they've had past people who have been burned. So I'll tell you what to do in that scenario. Somebody asks you the question, hey, do you have kids and do you have childcare? You could say, ooh, it sounds like that's a concern. Can you tell me why you're asking? Right? You don't have to answer the question. You can just say, ooh, that sounds like a concern. Can you tell me why you're asking? And they'll give you the information. And it's usually, yeah, the last 3 people I hired claimed they had childcare and then they were calling out sick all the time and they were unreliable. Wow, I can see. Well, let me tell you how I make sure that I'm reliable for you. All right. Now you can give the answer without even having to say whether or not you have kids or childcare. You can address the real concern. So, again, I think that's a real big tip, folks. If somebody asks you a question and you're like, I think, in your mind, you're like, oh, I think that's illegal. Before you go negative, just say, oh, it sounds like that's a big concern for you. Can you tell me why? And say it with sincerity. They're going to open up and tell you what's going on. Then you'll get some clarity around why they're asking the question, and you can choose whether or not you want to answer it. But that's really important to do because, like I said, there are so many people that are truly ignorant to the rules and have some greater concern that's actually prompting that question. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I am going to stop there for a minute and just say, how are we feeling? Is this helping? Yeah. Are you guys finding Just Ask JT helpful? I love being live with you every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday here on TikTok and then on LinkedIn and YouTube. They actually, all the recordings are over on YouTube, so you can go back and listen to any of them as well. Every day I have a topic, so you can look and see what I'm discussing. And I do like a quick little power lesson in the beginning of every show, and then I answer your questions. So if you're finding this helpful, I'd love it if you liked and followed me here, so that I can keep educating you and anybody else on the realities of the market. There's just a lot that people need to know and understand. Yeah. So thank you for that. I appreciate all your support, and I'm really glad to have you here. I applied for a job a week ago and still haven't heard back. Any tips? Yeah. So folks, when you apply to a job, you need to wait one full business week before you reach out. Now, once it's been a full business week, it is totally okay to check in. Just keep it short. All right. You want to say, I wanted to be proactive and see if there's anything else I can offer to further my candidacy. Notice I didn't say I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in. Studies show sounds very passive aggressive. It sounds like they did something wrong. So we don't say that. Instead, we message them and say, hey there, I wanted to be proactive and see if there's anything else I can do to further my candidacy for the XYZ job. I'd love the opportunity to interview. Sincerely, blank. That's what I would go ahead and do. Yeah. And after that, you're done. They know where to find you. They'll find you when they find you. I think the bigger problem people have right now is they see a job they really like, they apply for it, and then they sit around and job crush. Don't job crush in this market, folks. There's no point. Job crush is when you sit around and you don't look for other jobs because you're like, well, I just, what if I get an interview with this company? I don't, want to lead other companies on. Doesn't work that way. Okay. You should be looking and networking and back channeling and applying and connecting with as many companies as possible. You should be playing the field. No job crushing in this market. All it's going to lead is to heartbreak. Okay. Really, really be careful with that. Yeah. So imperative. Yeah. Okay, folks, I want to mention two things for you. Two things, if you found today helpful. Will you listen? Two things that are really going to change your life. First of all, when you are looking to get results faster in anything in your life, you use a coach. Think about that. Anytime you want to get results faster, you go to an expert and you work with them to get those results. Your job is no different. So if you would like to speed this process up and you would like to get the help you want and deserve, that is why I offer a free 7-day trial, because I get it. People are like, I've never used a coach before. Maybe you used other coaches in the past and had a bad experience. So we make it possible for you to go over and try us free for 7 days so that you can make sure it's a fit for you. Right. And I'm telling you, coaching makes a difference. The average length of time right now in America to land a job is 9 months. 9 months. We do exit survey data at our company, and right now we're seeing 2 to 3 months. Coaching makes a difference. So when you're ready for coaching, you can test it out free for 7 days, right? And you got to ask yourself, do you deserve it? Of course you do. For those of you that are like, you know what, JT, I have zero money and I can't afford it, but I need something, we put together a free resource center. So you will find the free resource center as well as my 7-day free trial. I found the free resource center down here. It's linked in my bio. You'll find it over at Work It Daily. It is no credit card required, instant access, and you get my 4 most popular webinars. Job search bootcamp, break through your career burnout, how to choose a career path, and professional strengths assessment. They're all 45-minute videos that you can listen on demand at your convenience, go back at any time. And they're just going to inspire you and educate you and help you a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that these resources were available because I know there's a lot of people out there struggling. A lot of you might have been unemployed for a long period of time. And this can be a great option for you, right? But for those of you that really want to coach and to work with a coach, I hope you will come over and check out Work It Daily and see why we are the #1 career coaching platform. #1. Highest in satisfaction and success. And we're very proud of that. And we work very hard. So come try us free for 7 days and see what having a career coach can do for you. Okay. Awesome. Wonderful. You got it. All right, team. I need to bounce to my next meeting. Thank you for coming to my podcast. I'll be back next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Be sure to follow so that you can see. Good luck to all of you. Shout out to Halal. Looks like Halal has a new interview in an hour. You got this, Halal. You got this. Go get him, okay? And anyone else that's got an interview this week, you can do this, right? Remember, you need to be the must-have candidate. Show them your value. Talk about your unique value add, the ways you're going to save them money, make them money, solve problems, and alleviate pain. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Awesome. All right. Hope to see a bunch of you next week. More importantly, I really hope that a bunch of you download the free resource center. And I hope at least a few of you decide to come and let me be your career coach, right? Come on over to Work It Daily and try it free for 7 days. Awesome. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Take care, my friends. Have a great one. Bye-bye.